Thank you very much. This is nearly turning into be the Donegal Mutual Admiration Society. But Minister, Deputies, MEP, ladies and gentlemen with the bright lights, I can't quite see who's here, but Mr Chairman, CEO, members of Shannon Development, delighted to be here in Thomond Park. It's absolutely a fantastic stadium. I've had the privilege of being here in the summer of this year, and you're quite right in saying it's an iconic building. I'm very cognizant of the fact that there's a former president of the GAA here as well, and I suppose he would claim that Croke Park might be perhaps more iconic, but given that he's elected in this region, he wouldn't even dare say such a thing. But you know, when you think about it, isn't there a wonderful synergy between people and sport? And I'm sure that the stadium here will add to the attractiveness of this region as a place to come to, and I'm sure the tourism potential arising from the clashes that take place outside there, not in here, just add to and augment the value that there is in this part of the world. I suppose really just wanted to take a few minutes to say a few things about regional development. We all hear about balanced regional development. We've heard about this for a considerable period of time. And in the celebration of 50 years of Shannon development, I suppose really they were pioneers in the context of regional development. And that all came from, not really government or anybody else for that matter, that came from people. That came from the vision of a number of people in this region who were determined to do it for themselves. And it was on the basis of that determination and I suppose strong-headedness, and I've heard many's a story about how Shannon development evolved. I would say it was very pioneering. In other words, that Dublin didn't know what was happening until such times it was set up. And maybe sure that wouldn't be a bad thing either, but in the days of, we didn't have the media that we have now, and perhaps you could have got away with it 50 years ago. But really, it was a vision, and it's about pioneerism. And now we have moved on, and there's been many lessons learned in the context of regional development here in Shannon. And it's been rightly said, there have been huge challenges and great opportunities and fantastic outcomes. And now we're in a particularly trying time where we have scarcer resources, where there are perhaps expectations that are going to be difficult to fulfil. And at the same time, we must push on with a vision for this country. And that has been emulated really in the context of the work that Shannon Development and many other regional organisations are carrying out. And what are they doing? They're focusing. They're focusing very much on realising the potential of the region. And that is not going to be easy, and I'll tell you why it won't be easy, because coming from Donegal, I know that when I used to have Minister Micheál Martin vilified and put under pressure in Donegal, when I had him in Bundoran, I wanted one thing. When I had him in Ballyshannon, I wanted something else. When I was in Donegal town, I wanted something else. When I was in his town in Ballybuffet, I wanted something else. And he used to say to me, Mary, this is only one county now. Pick a focus, and then out of that focus, something will happen. And I would have been a person who would have been quite critical of that type of scenario, until such times as you see the big picture. And the big picture in the context of attracting foreign direct investment is this. Let's look at the competition. The competition is Singapore, the competition is Switzerland, the competition is Israel. So instead of being inward looking, we have to look outwards. And let's see what the competition is, and then let's see what we can do that is better than the competition. So the first decision that any company is going to make from an FDI perspective is which country in the world they will come to. And we have been very successful. And we have done it on the basis of a number of things. Yes, our taxation policy and the clarity that there is within our taxation policy. And the 12.5% corporation tax is hugely important. The other offerings of research and development support, intellectual property. But when I go to boardrooms, the most important thing that people say to me is the skill base. The skill base of our people, the flexibility of the workforce, the can-do attitude. And that is equally to be found in this region as anywhere else. And the collaborative work between the third level institutes, the IOTs, the further education institutes, the universities, is definitely one of the key indicators in how we can attract FDI in this country. On the basis of skills, we have challenges in skills, yes. here in this region where we've had a very difficult and trying time in the context of DEL, for example, and not just DEL, but the knock-on effect that that has had all over the region. Our focus now is how we can take the career paths of those people and move them into a greater skill opportunity. And that will be difficult because we have to keep people enthusiastic and of the view that when they do take a course or they are involved in training, that there's going to be something there in the future. So it's mapping what the future skill needs of this country are and marrying them with the skill opportunities that are going to be in the region. And I think it's important to say this, lest it not be said. We do actually have skill shortages in this country in certain areas. You know, some people don't hear that. And it is hugely important that we build that skill base. And that skill base is definitely going to be in the healthcare sector, in the ICT sector, in research and development. And that is where the skill focus will have to be. And certainly from a strategic regional development point of view, the work of the university sector and third level sector here will be invaluable